Life got away from me.
No, that was all me.
Life got away from me. And while it was absent, it appears it took some time to become a giant. When it decided to return, it gave no warning, running towards me at full force completely, but unintentionally, knocking me off my feet. There are whispers in the space in which I had just been standing, contemplating the truth in a fable that this life is just an elusive creature, dominating, demanding that you put food on the table or for you to decide how much of your core being should be malleable when you are unable to function as a mess that, in its intrinsic makeup, is unrelentingly directionless. There are aspects of adult life in which I could see myself being a grown-up, but they're mostly hypotheticals, filled with ifs and buts, and especially with a heavy lean towards the cannots. Like, I just know I'm not going to worry about age-appropriate clothes or haircuts, and might never own a home like the one I grew up in, or ever have children with matching dungarees but mismatched socks because they'd have the reins to self-expression. I don't engage in these non-fantasies because for the first 2 decades of my existence as a self-conscious being, I'd internalised the sentiment that life is something that happens to you, and stored in the centre of my belief system. Life is not something that you can engage with, it is a lurching feral monster, the world's most prevalent myth made manifest, a creature that will rip and consume your unsightly lumbering mass, or sometimes barely even interact, but it still fucking frightens you in small glances from a short distance with those illogically black, glistening eyes, and it lunges as you sink into your seat and its nails sink into your thighs, leaving a reddy purple stain, slowly growing in size. Life is perched there on your lap growling, an undomesticated, pulsating, chimeric beast frowning, teeth laced with skin and tiny bones, and with horrific clarity you realise that all those times you believed you were alone, you are not alone, you are never alone. A phrase that would usually bring comfort, but here signals intense foreboding. You are in a cramped one-seater pod, hurtling towards a much darker, brutal version of Tiernanog, with this beast as your only companion, and soon you crash land together, languishing in this new environment, wishing you hadn't survived the descent. The beast drags you across rocks and needles, threading a path as if it knows this place, and the years of complacent injuries cut ditches into your face. It pulls out the stitches, loosely holding you together as one, yanking with a moan. And with each tug you start to forget what it was like to have a home, or what it meant to be still, stationary, patient, with a healthy interest in what this world could hold for you. But now it just feels like you've seen it all in this hostage trip you were taking on. Nothing seems new, or bright, or remarkable. It's just the same old path after path of sharp objects, dull chaos, and predictable nervousness. So, you want mystery? You want excitement, the beast says, breaking its lifelong silence. Then fine, here's a twist. And all of a sudden its weather claws twitch and drop your wrist. Your hand falls to the ground and your head shortly follows as the impact of the beast's words begin to resonate and hollow harshly into your soul, and you fold into yourself, distorting. And the beast continues with, "You never said a thing! I'm aware I'm humongous and terrifying, but this is what I do. My purpose is to be your life, and without guidance I cannot help you. Without a voice I will wander, without direction I will saunter as far as your legs can walk, and I will keep as that monotony if you refuse to talk. Life is something that happens to you? Yeah, I read your thoughts. I know how that sentence echoes, but it translates as nonsense. There are two of us here, you and little old me. And you can see me as your prison guard, or you can see us both as free. Tiernanog is what you make of it, and it's not the hell that you imagined. And I don't know who taught you that you are inherently damaged, or unable to interact with the so-called beast at your side. But if you just stand up and start walking, then I'll follow in your stride. I'll see what you see, and I can tell you what I know, and I can help you heal, and in time you will grow. Not just emotionally, but also physically, into a huge beast like me. You'll cover more ground with each step and see miles above the trees. Your head will wobble and bob through low-hanging clouds, and sometimes you won't be sure of where to tread because of that heavy shroud. But that is just a part of this land. It'll linger sometimes regardless of where you stand. But you will get better at knowing when to stop and rest, and abandon the idea that existence is just one big test, cyclically questioning without any means to acquiesce and surrender. In the end, you'll never really know if you gave the right answers. But at least you tried. By God, you tried. I know they always said tests were important, but hey, maybe they lied. Like when you look at the dung beetle pushing shit up the hill just to see it roll down the other side, or the chickens laying their eggs not knowing they'll end up poached and fried, or that incessant ebb and flow of salt water on the beach in a rising tide. As much as it is tempting to subscribe to the anxieties amongst organisms of every size, there is a constant Sisyphean grinding of trying to stay alive without an obvious location where the meaning of life resides. One of the most freeing activities for a spiraling mind is to get out of the seductive habit of constantly asking why. You've been saying it for years, but never out loud, in your fear that life might suddenly disappear at the very instance of being asked why I am here, or who I am to you, or if I'm all in your mind, or if I were to die, would it also be your last corporeal sigh before you winked out of reality in the blink of an eye? Well, at this point, you emerge from the hopeless hole into which you fell, as a quiet, almost forgotten sound creeps forth from the inner self. I don't know. It speaks! The beast bellows. Finally, my shadow has something to say, and just those 3 words are enough to start us on our way. Which path should we take? Again, I don't know. A smirk. A little unoriginal, I will say that, but even the tiniest step is a mark in the map of that which will get us moving again. What do you say, friend? Can I call you a friend? Can you see life as something to accept and not as a source of fear and torment? Okay, well, to paraphrase the Cheshire Cat in a bastardization of the original paragraph, it doesn't matter which way you go, you're sure to get to somewhere if you only walk long enough. Now, that doesn't sound too rough, does it? Think of how far we travelled when you didn't want to one bit. Every time you squeezed through tunnels through which you normally couldn't fit, struggles like this merged us into a single unit. You and life. Crumbling rocks against your skin, and all the while harbouring a strange resilience strengthening within. Even when you felt empty, even when you thought life was just dragging around a husk, you grew tough, but stayed soft. You became a necessary paradox to ask your own existential questions to. So now answer me this one, between me and you. On this journey, who's following who? I still don't know, you mutter. But the beast's smile widens to the horizon and it roars. That right there, that was 4 in a row, 4 words. The concept of progress has never seemed less absurd. And with that, you begin to walk. Side by side, no dragging along in no direction in particular, nor with a purpose in mind, but with the realisation that life is usually scary if you've never seen it in a different light, or tried to alter your perception, and only believing life is something that happens to you and not that it works the same in the other direction is a fundamental misunderstanding of our symbiotic connection. Me and my beast, all that matters, all we have in common is that we exist, and we are moving and we are happening to each other. We hold hands and wander with delicate palms and no white clenched knuckles. Me and my life, we have an understanding that being is all there is, and depending on your perspective, that can be horrifying or provide a sense of bliss. Because I don't know why it's happening, and I don't really have to know, but I intend to keep walking with life to see what we might explore. And especially now I understand beasts like life evolved out of necessity, with an unforgiving, contorting spine and huge feet and a loose grip on reality. Hey, when I grow up, I'll be like life.
Yup, yup.
I'll be huge and so scary and ever so wise. I will walk every inch of Tirnanog with my giant thundering thighs, and my hair will be so long it'll cut new rivers into the plains, and my teeth will glisten and grin as I observe myself repeating the same mistakes. Eventually, I'll become life, for no other reason than because I can. I will exist because it's the most important thing in being human. I'll thrive and I'll die, and in between that I'll still say God, I don't know, and ask the same old why. But regardless of this, life will still be life, that fascinating monstrous beast, infinitely growing in size.
Fuck yeah.
I'm so horrible.
So good. We nailed that.
Yeah, that was really good. So
That
we're done.
was cool. That was cool. Let's never do that again.
We're done. Burn it. I feel like
Shit.
I got possessed.